box to get that what was traction. It's almost like if I'd have just had just a little bit of, and remember, I used to drive sometimes. People don't really know this about me, but I'm a getaway driver, man. I drive everything, dog. Like,
Right.
8-wheel vehicles, 4-wheel vehicles. I'm not nasty with a semi because that was never under any of my job descriptions.
That's our league, bro. That's our league. That's our league over here. We doing semis, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't take me long. It wouldn't take me long because I clutch and shift.
Yeah. Okay. You got downshift too. You got a downshift, bro.
Hey, listen, downshift. I got no problem with that, man.
No problem.
Yeah.
18 gears.
I drive without brakes, dog.
Oh,
you know what I'm trying to
wow.
say? If it get to it and we get to the manual gearbox, man, I do it without brakes. You hear me? You heard? So I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't drift and do all that crazy Fast and Furious shit. But if you ride with me and it's on a popping like that, have faith, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't do Vin Diesel shit. I can't do that Vin Diesel, that John Cena shit.
Yeah, it'll make an ill story for sure. Yeah.
Have faith, man.
I was in the car with Canibus and he was like, that'll be ill.
Not no more. I'm Mr. Daisy now.
Nah, listen, bro. We all are, bro.
I used to get those boys. You know what I'm saying, from point A to point B. And there was trust there, right? Because when you're on the road and you or just in general, when you making sure everybody gets home, safe and sound to their little huskies and their little munchkins, there's got to be trust, right?
Yeah.
So, right. It's just the direction I was going. I get it, man. It was just foreign, right? It was like a foreign language, foreign, zone of thought, and so I get it. But man, you know what I'm saying? This is what it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, bro. Because I think right now it's the prime time for cannabis. I've never seen so many melanated people talking about NFTs, talking about cryptocurrency. So I think right now we're in that age where we're open to going in that direction now. And I think this album, this One Step Closer to Infinity, I think is gonna help to usher in the theme music, the soundtrack to this new era of dealing with digital currency, dealing with the digital mindset and all of that, bro. So let's get into that metaphysical spiritual, bro. Let's break this down. The Emcee.
Okay.
What is that? Yeah.
All right. So, Emcee mastered the ceremonies, right? Rap music, rhythmic American poetry, right? I always felt that it was communication. It was forged out of our need to communicate with one another. Above, below, and through the obstacles that were put in place.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So that's what hip hop, I feel hip hop was created for. It was created out of, because they always say, necessity is the mother of all creation, right?
Yes.
Necessity is the mother of ideas. Necessity is the mother of all. Right, there we go. So I feel like at the time when the country or the world, in fact, turned a blind ear towards people who didn't have a voice, we just went and communicated with each other. You know what I'm saying? We never really intended for it to turn into this worldwide phenomenon where I wasn't there at the very beginning. I was there at the very beginning as an observer. I wasn't pushing no buttons or making no calls at that time, but I was there. I watched it start and develop. And I always saw it as, and that hasn't changed, that it was a language of communication for people who didn't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? So, taking that into account and then just laminating that and putting that off to the side, it's obvious that, others will look at that and say, man, we got to co-opt this somehow. Right. And, what is it that they want? So they can give you this, they can give you this communication, and they'll share it with you, because we were very sharing people. If you think about it, like, we shared it with the world.
Right.
But what did we want for that? Well, at the time, the ones who were, at the wheel, you know what I'm saying? They really just wanted what you kind of see the artists of today wanting. They just wanted, stability, economic advancement for them and their loved ones. You want to win, bring the bag home to who's home.
Right.
Whoever's home, you going to get the bag for them. So I feel like that's where there was sort of like a weakness there, as with all things, right? You see it with the sports dynamic, where athletes, before they can even get to the peak, they're already co-opted. You know what I'm saying? And so many things are given away just to get the opportunity and the chance, which echoes back to, what I'm saying, back to third world countries, and the analysis there, where it's like, an opportunity
Yes.
is really, that all by itself will make a nigga go crazy. That right there, just that throw you off your square faster than anything else. The opportunity, depending on what it is. If it's your dream, if you got an opportunity to achieving your dream, it's probably nothing that you wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Depending on who you're dealing with. But most people, right? And so if they don't have a strong enough foundation, they end up losing themselves, right?
True.
And we can't really ascertain, who and why, if we don't jump to the spiritual battle. You know what I'm saying? It's the metaphysical, you know what I'm saying, and spiritual aspect of hip hop.
Yes.
A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, also an elder, he always says that the real battle between good and evil, was going on in hip hop during the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. After that, the battle was pretty much lost. The war was lost for our kind, right? Like, we lost the war in the 2000s, like by late 2000s, we were out of the mix, in terms of there was nothing that we could do that was effective in so far as either getting it back or garnering any kind of tools from it that we could get. But the battle was going on during the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and this is what the elder has impressed upon me, and I believe it. I believe it, like, you know what I'm saying, with all my faculties of rationale. I could say that, like, when you look at, you know what I'm saying, the type of superstars we had, what they were saying, what their lyrical content was, the subject matter they used to touch upon, and just in general, the substance of it, like how meaningful co-opted, and it's like they aimed the barrel in another direction, or let's just say they aimed the water hydrant in another direction. You're trying to put a fire out, the hydrant was aimed in another direction. And so, you know what I'm saying, what we was trying to do, other things happened that created a situation where it just got to where the co-op was invisible, and it, the Pandora's box was open, man. And now I'm careful to try to, I'm not the wizard that I was with technology, in the 90s. Now I defer, like, that type of ability and that type of foresight to, the iPictorial app. You know what I'm saying? Because they're J5, like Jurassic 5, they're on the forefront of something really big. And that record on One Step Closer to Infinity, it's
that's soul hip hop.
the beginning.
That's soul hip hop right there. That record,
yeah, it's a big record. And funny enough, that record happened like kind of like last. You know what I'm saying? That's so think about it, like it happened last, but it was right at the moment of, we need to do something together. So, and because we had already been communicating prior to, like, me, Akil and I, you know what I'm saying, MFB, You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? MFB, you know what I mean? You're talking about